So, welcome back to our physical fitness chapter. Last time we had left off with medical clearance, talking about the PAR-Q and graded exercise tests. So, before exercise, other things you'd want to consider before exercise, besides medical clearance, is assessment. So, assessing yourself to figure out where you currently stand with your physical fitness and exercise tolerances and things like that. That way you can program your exercise appropriately and that you can set the appropriate goals so you're not stretching too hard and things are achievable and reasonable. And so that's really important to kind of give yourself, like, to know where you start, kind of like a pre-test you might have used to take in before classes where they'd figure out where you were to know what to teach you and then kind of go from there. And so you can see what you learned. After you've assessed, you then want to use those assessment results to set your actual goals. Again, think back to that SMART goal we've talked about, that you need to know where you're currently at to make sure your goal is a SMART goal, measurable, attainable, reasonable, those types of things. From that point, there's just some things you might want to consider as you train or before you're training, and it's your body is how it trains, or practice how you play. So if you get used to doing something one way, that's how your body's going to get used to doing it as well. And this applies to your mind. So if you're always exercising with somebody, then anytime you're doing that exercise, you're probably going to need to have someone with you to do as well. It shouldn't surprise you if you always have a partner to exercise and your partner is sick and you try to exercise on your own and you're just not motivated to do so or don't do as well because your body's gotten used to that. Make sure you train on a regular basis so you don't see deficits occur. Your body doesn't start to detrain. You don't suffer injuries and that type of thing. So make sure you train on a regular basis. And at the same point, make sure you start slow and progress slowly. Slowly work your way up. Start lower than what you think you do. Because you don't want to overtrain. You don't want to cause an injury that will put you at a setback as it goes forward. And so that's really important. Starting too quickly on something can cause an injury or make it where you're very sore the next day. And this could actually lead it where you don't train as much as you should. And so that's really important. Make sure you do a proper warm up and cool down. Warm ups come before exercise, cool downs come after. A warm up is literally trying to get your muscles warm and ready to do exercise to help prevent injury. Cool downs bring your body back down to rest. Literally cool your body down, your muscles down. Both last about 5 to 10 minutes for your general population. They can go much, much longer. Warm up is any kind of light activity, dynamic style stretching, which we'll talk about in flexibility. Um, It'll also include maybe some just anything that gets your muscles moving and active. Cool down is usually lowering the intensity slowly, same kind of things you were doing. Other types of stretches, such as static stretches, can be done here. And so lots of things. Realize when it comes to a cool down, you want to make sure that the one thing you don't do is actually just stop. Stopping causes all the blood to pull at your feet and can make it where your heart doesn't have blood inside of it when it contracts, and this can damage your heart, especially if done multiple times. Always think about safety. So, the time of day that it is, if things could be slippery or uneven terrains, if you're going somewhere, making sure someone knows where you're going to go and when you should be back, going with other people. You should never swim alone, that type of thing. Safety. Make sure you're getting plenty of sleep. Sleep is very crucial for your body to recover. When you're sleeping, it's kind of like a reset button and your body's able to heal and repair itself. And also make sure you're having fun. If exercise is not something you should just be forcing yourself to do unless you're trying to accomplish a very specific goal, and then it can be there, but it should be something fun. If you're not enjoying what you're currently doing, go find something else. There's lots of varieties of exercise. You should always be able to make it enjoyable for yourself. Other things to consider is make sure you're changing your workout. This could be the activity itself. It could be how hard the activity is. Or it could be how much activity you're doing. So maybe you're going from 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Something in your workout needs to be changing about every 2 weeks. Okay, it doesn't have to be big changes, but at least something small needs to change about every 2 weeks in your workout. We all know that we have that person you're when you're driving to work or school or whatever, you drive at the same kind of place every single day, and there's always that one person who's wearing the same kind of outfit, running at the same pace, always at that stoplight, waiting for it to go green. And if they're past that you're late for work or late for school. Those people are doing the exact same thing over and over and over and over again, week after week after week. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but they're not seeing benefits. They're not seeing additional benefits from it. They're not seeing that progressive overload. And so it's really important that you make sure that something in your workout's changing so that you can continue to improve. If I'm doing something, I want to get better at it. I don't want to just stay where I currently am. You can train with a partner. Make sure that partner is someone who can push you, or at least you're highly motivated. I'm a terrible partner when it comes to exercise because I'm like, you're like, let's go exercise. I'm like, or we could go get donuts, and I'm in. Or we cannot exercise. So I'm not a great partner. The people that I work out with are usually highly motivated and drag me to go work out. So it's really good if I can find someone like that because they help me to actually get exercise in. Train your mind. Your mind is just as big a component as your body itself. Make sure you're eating right because that can make a big difference in how your physical fitness improves. Track your progress because if you can see things are going well and you're making improvements, you're more likely to stick with it. Seek advice from somebody because maybe they can give you some pointers. And at the end of the day, make sure you keep perspective. Exercise is super important, and exercise is great, and physical activity is one of the best things out there. But at the end of the day, it's not your entire life. There are people who feel like it is, and there are different reasons for that. But if you're sick or you're in the hospital, it's okay not to exercise. Or if you go on vacation, it's okay not to exercise while on vacation if you don't want to. Some people do want to, and that's perfectly fine. And you can do that, but I've got friends who have been in the hospital and they kind of beat themselves up or when they can't go on a run because they're in the hospital, or they're trying to just get out of their hospital bed and walk around the hospital when it's not needed. They simply just need to rest and let their body repair. So realize exercise is super important, but it is not everything. And that kind of covers our physical fitness chapter.